Hey, 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 it's Deanne, and this is going to be a Q&A where you can ask me anything. So thank you so much for being here. I have several questions that people have already given me prior to this. So I'm going to go over those first. And then if anybody's here and has any questions, we can go over those as well. Okay. All right. So the first question I have is I'm having problems with gas and bloating. What can I do about that? Does that have anything to do with my age? All right, great question. So, whenever we talk about age and people have this feeling that as they get older, things get worse, really what's happening is what I call the disruptive habit trap. If you start doing something at age 30, 35, or 40, and now you're in your 50s or even 60s, those things over time have been affecting or disrupting your health. And so as you keep getting older, it's harder and harder for your body to heal itself. So you begin to have more and more symptoms. So, in a way, I don't like to blame it on age because if you're taking care of your body the way it needs to be taken care of, then you don't necessarily need to be getting worse and worse as you get older, if that makes sense. Okay. So, it's not really because you're getting older, it's because of what's going on in your body. So, let's look at these four things. Digestion. Digestion is hugely important regarding gas and bloating. How are you digesting your food? What are you eating? So that goes hand in hand with nutrition. So let's talk about conscious eating. That is eating when you aren't doing anything else. You're not rushing around, you're not standing up, you're not watching TV, you're not talking to other people and working at the same time, but you're eating and only eating. And that enables you to be in a more relaxed mode, which is where you need to be to digest. Our bodies need to be in a parasympathetic nervous system that relax and digest or rest and digest response in order for you to properly be able to chew your food, break it down, move it through the system and absorb the food to use it for energy and then to move it out. Okay. So, number one, conscious eating. Sit down, kind of move away from everything, take a look at your food, be grateful for your food, and slowly eat small bites and chew them thoroughly and enjoy your food. That's always going to be number one. And that's one of the biggest mistakes that people make is that they rush and they're eating really fast and they're standing up and they're in their car and they're doing this and they're doing that. And so whatever they're eating, it could be the healthiest food out there. But if you're in that sympathetic nervous system, you're not able to digest it well. You're not able to break it down, you're not able to absorb it, and you're not able to use it. Okay? So number 1, conscious eating. Number 2, we want to look at that nervous system throughout the day because again, for digestion to happen, for things to move through the gut, again, our bodies need to be relaxed, not always going, not on the go, not up and because then again, we're in that sympathetic nervous system. So I call this a superwoman syndrome. On the go, doing things, going here, going there. That is a great way to succeed and do lots of things in your life, but it's not so great for your body. So you have to find that balance. So calming yourself down several ways throughout the day, going for a walk, doing your breathing exercises, whatever that is for you is important so your digestion can work properly. You've heard of the vagus nerve. Activating the vagus nerve is what can shift you from that sympathetic to that parasympathetic nervous system. Okay. Then we also want to look at your microflora. In your colon, in your large intestine, that's where your microflora, your microbiome, all that good bacteria that helps you out lives. And if that bacteria is off, if you have high levels of pathogenic bacteria, if you have things like yeast in there, If you have low levels of the good stuff like Lactobacillus, Bifidobacterium, and Akkermansia, then you can definitely have gas and bloating because the bacteria is what's making the gas. It can also be because of the food that you're feeding your body, because that food becomes food for the bacteria, then the bacteria can make that gas. You've probably also heard of SIBO. SIBO is when all that good bacteria that's in the colon backs up and it now lives in the small intestine. And again, that's that bacteria that we don't really want there. And so it's eating some of that food and it's causing gas and bloating. So these are all things that are really important to look for. And that's why it's really important to get help, because there's tests out there that can take a look at your microflora and tell you exactly what's going on. What type of bacteria you need to put into your system. If there's high levels of something like Candida, which we really need to get rid of, if there's parasites, if there's other bacteria that are high levels that are pathogenic, like Pseudomonas or E. coli or something like that. So we don't want to guess. You can certainly keep taking probiotics, probiotics, probiotics after probiotics. But if you're not finding out what's in the gut that shouldn't be there and getting rid of it, then it's only like half, you're only doing half of what you need to. Okay. So again, testing is really important to truly answer this question and get better, because we can do a stool test to see what's going on in your microflora, how your digestion is moving, all of those things. But if you just want some tips, you know what I think about tips. I think they're band-aids. I don't think it's really going to completely help you, but it can certainly help a little bit. It's conscious eating, eating whole foods, real food, food that's grown in the ground, on trees, on bushes, not things that are made in factories. Okay. And good quality food. So organic vegetables, grass-fed meat, organic chicken, wild fish and seafood. That is definitely a great place to start. Okay. All right. Question number 2. I seem to be getting more and more food sensitivities through the years. I'm not even sure what I can eat anymore. What's going on? Great, great, great question. And I post about leaky gut a lot. So what these food sensitivities are, when you feel like there's foods that you can't eat that aren't agreeing with you, they can be food sensitivities. And that comes on because of leaky gut. Now, leaky gut is when your intestine, so let's take a look at your intestine as a hose. It's this hollow tube that starts at the mouth, comes down, forms the stomach, and then the small intestines, the large intestines, and comes out the end. So really whatever's inside your digestive system, inside that tube, is not inside the body yet. It's just inside that tube. And then on the inside of that tube, we have a 1-cell layer thick wall. And there's something called tight junctions, and they are tight, but they let little things go through. So once we eat, we break down food into teeny tiny little pieces of things. Those things can then move through outside of the hose into the bloodstream that's right here. Okay. There's a barrier there. I mean, the wall is protecting our body because it doesn't want things that shouldn't be in our body to move from that tube into the body, if that makes sense. But when we get leaky gut, when those tight junctions open up, bigger things, undigested food can move through into the bloodstream. Well, the body doesn't want that in there. And so it's like, whoa. And so our immune system starts to react and go crazy and starts to fight whatever is moving out of the tube into the bloodstream. Okay. So you've probably seen from many of my posts a list of things that cause leaky gut. We have over-the-counter medications like Advil, Motrin, birth control pills. We have stress. Again, a lot of times women, I find that they don't think they have stress in their life, but it's more about the stress response of your body. So if you're in that sympathetic nervous system, then that is what we're calling stress. That's superwoman syndrome. Food allergy. So if you have a true food allergy, that can cause problems with the wall of the intestine. So, and there's more and more. There's lots more. And you can look back at my post in the Facebook group for that. So the best thing and the only way to really deal with this is to understand what's causing your leaky gut. Alcohol, sugar, the processed foods that you're eating, artificial coloring, any of those things. Each time you're taking those in, they can damage the intestinal wall. Now, your intestinal wall can heal, so it may not be an issue, but if you continuously are putting those things in over and over and over again, that's when we start to have an issue because the body can't heal itself. So first, look at the list of all the things that cause leaky gut and start removing those, eliminating, limiting those in your life. With stress, making some changes in your life so you're not always in that sympathetic nervous system. So understanding there's things like breathing that can bring you down, taking a step away, going for a walk, things like that that can actually shift you from that sympathetic system to the parasympathetic system. Super, super important. Eliminating things like over the counter Advil, taking that out completely. Very harsh for your gut. So that's step number one. Okay. Then we have to heal the gut. Now, the gut can start to heal itself. So, if you really remove all those things, it can heal itself. But there's some wonderful supplements, powders that you can put in water that are going to just help nourish the gut. And again, we have to look at the microflora because the microflora is super, super important. So, if there's this ratio is off of the good bacteria and the bad bacteria, or we have something like yeast, then those are things that we need to change. So, again, the best way to understand these food issues is to have testing, not food sensitivity, but a stool test to look at what's going on in the gut, looking at how bad the permeability is, looking at your microflora. That is step number one. I do these tests on every single one of my clients, everyone. Okay. That's how important they are. And that's really the best way to look at that. 10 years ago, we used to do food sensitivity testing. And what I found out and what we learned later on is that if you have leaky gut and you take one of those tests, it looks like you have a problem with almost every food you take in. And that scares people. That freaks people out. They get very upset, worried. What in the world are they going to eat? We don't do that anymore. Or I don't do that anymore. I know better because all that test is telling me is that you have leaky gut, which I probably, I already know. But if you're ever going to do that type of testing, it's only after the fact. It's only after you've removed the things that are causing leaky gut or causing that intestinal permeability increase and then healing the intestinal lining. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Let me know. Okay. The next one is about lack of energy. Lack of energy at the afternoon. What can I do? So I love these questions. There's no easy answer to any of these questions. Most of these questions are we really need to look at what's going on. If you haven't already figured this out, we can't separate things out in the body because all of the systems in our body, the reproductive system, the digestive system, the nervous system, the endocrine system, they're all closely linked. So when we start to have a problem, it's not that we can just go in and fix that one thing. We always have to back it up. We always have to back it up to the gut and the digestive system because that's really the central anchor of the body where things start to be problematic. And once those things keep getting worse and worse, then it really starts to move into other areas of the body. Okay. So, energy. How do we get energy? We get it from our food, what we put into our body. So, of course, that is number one, hugely important. What gives us energy? Vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients, proteins. So, we have to look at eating a well balanced meal at every meal. That's protein, clean protein that can be grass fed meat, that can be wild seafood, that could be organic chicken, that can be beans, nuts, seeds, lentils, that can be vegetables, which have protein as well. All of those things have protein. Okay. We want healthy fats. Fats are hugely important. We cannot have fat in our body. We have to have fat for our brains. We have to have fat for our heart. Okay. So, healthy fats, olive oil, olives, coconut, need seeds and nuts, avocado. So lots and lots of beautiful, fatty fish like salmon. All of those things are healthy fats that we want to have every day in our body. Okay. And then vegetables. Vegetables, vegetables, vegetables. I cannot say enough about vegetables. And we want lots of colorful vegetables, not just one vegetable a day. You want vegetables at every single meal. You want green, you want yellow, you want orange, you want red, on and on. So you really want to have as many vegetables in your diet as possible. That's where we get so many of our nutrients. Now, if you're really eating a lot of sugary treats, if you're eating a lot of processed foods, fast food, fried food, that's going to be problematic because those things don't give you energy. Okay. When you're eating tons of those foods, they're like empty calories. You're putting in a lot of food and you're putting in a lot of calories and you're not getting a lot of good stuff out of it. Okay. It's going to make you feel tired. It's going to affect your digestive system. It's going to affect your mood, your hormones, your liver, all of those things. Okay. Let's see, what else can I say about energy? We talked about foods. So, other lifestyle habits, of course. So, sleep. Sleep is hugely important because when we sleep, that's when our body is healing. That's when we're making new energy. So, sleep is hugely important. Good quality sleep throughout the night. And exercise or movement, activity. Our bodies are not meant to do what I'm doing right now, sitting here in front of my computer, all day long. Our bodies are meant to move around, burn calories, work our muscles, move our lymph. That's the only way we can move our lymph through our body is to move around. So that is another hugely important thing. So the less activity you're doing, the more tired you are going to get. Okay. Our mitochondria are the most important energy centers in our body, and they are affected by all of these things we've been talking about. So, again, just taking glutathione, it's not going to all of a sudden make a huge, huge difference in your life if you're not looking at all of these other things. So, there's no one magic pill or one magic supplement for each of these things that we're talking about. It's backing it up and looking at your lifestyle, looking at what you're eating, looking at how much activity you're having, looking at how much love and support and fun you have in your life, how much sleep, how many chemicals and toxins you're exposed to. All of these things matter in every one of these questions. Okay. My last question that I have here, and then we can take a look at other people's questions. Menopause. I'm having menopause symptoms. I can't seem to really get them under control. What can I do? So, with menopause, this is going to be the easy part. This is what you can do on your own. Menopause is when your hormone levels are starting to, so we have our hormone levels that are a specific ratio and they need to kind of stay there at that ratio. And then when they start, when either your estrogen or your progesterone starts to drop, or even your testosterone, that can cause issues. Okay. And that's when you can start getting symptoms. Honestly, we got to go right back to what everything we've talked about. Nutrition is huge. I will tell you the two biggest factors that are going to make your menopausal symptoms worse: alcohol, sugar. Just take those out of your daily routine and you are going to start feeling better immediately. You're going to start having less of those hot flashes, less sweating, night sweating. Exercise is another big part of it. We have to look at your liver. Your liver has everything to do with your hormones. Cholesterol is how we actually make our hormones. We make our hormones from cholesterol. So if your liver has gotten sluggish, has gotten tired, and can't do all of the 40 to 50 things that it does in the body, you are going to definitely start having issues with your hormones. Your blood sugar level is very closely tied to your hormones. So if you're not eating well and your blood sugar levels are all over the place, your pancreas isn't working well, releasing the insulin, all of that, again, that's going to cause issues. The best three things that you can probably do on your own is to remove sugar from your diet, lower or reduce alcohol from your diet, and move more. Of course, if you come see someone like me, I will start with the gut. I will start with the gut and work on the gut first. And then if you're still having issues, then we would actually look into your hormones and see what's going on with your hormones. Our bodies, our liver breaks down the estrogen in our body as it comes through, it metabolizes it. And our estrogen has several different forms. It has a healthy form and it has an unhealthy form. And then it can also kind of get stuck in the body and it can start recirculating in the body. And that's not a good thing. So that's the most important thing from something like a Dutch test, where it tells us what's going on with your estrogen. And do you have more of the good estrogen or the bad estrogen? And then what are your levels of estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone? So we can certainly do that test and go from there. But we always back it up first, look at your gut health, and look at your lifestyle. All right, let me see if we have any questions here right now. You can just type them in and show me. Okay. One more question. What is all the hype about liver cleanses? Do I need to do 1, 2 more per year? What's going on? Okay, great question. Liver cleanses, detoxes, our bodies detox on a regular basis all the time. And detoxification has 3 different stages to it. So some of us have issues because we might have problems with certain stages of detoxification. If our liver health isn't what it should be, all detoxification goes through the liver, metabolizes it and moves things out. So we definitely need to work on our liver. So again, if you are healthy all throughout the year, you're eating healthy, you're exercising, you're managing your stress, all of those things, then you don't necessarily need to do a detox. But of course, with the way life is, most of us aren't doing that all throughout the year, every single day. So, yes, it's great to do detoxes. It's great to do cleanses, same thing. Now, these programs that are out there, they're all very, very different. So, you may just want to look at them. You can do these things on your own. There's so many different ways to do it. When I do cleanses, I usually really work on the liver because, in my opinion, that's what most people need help with. The liver is hugely important, and it's very easy for that to get backed up and get sluggish. And again, that's our main detoxification organ. So we want to make sure that's working. I do very different types of cleanses. If you've done my cleanses, they kind of change every single year. My spring cleanse, which is actually starting signups next week, and it starts the week after. This is a basic cleanse for everyone. It's perfect for you no matter where you are in your health journey. It's literally eating healthy, adding in all these wonderful awesome daily routines, daily lifestyle habits that are beneficial and not disruptive. And then it's also adding a powder that's full of nutrients that are going to help detoxify the body. And that's it. So we meet 3 times during the cleanse, making sure everybody feels great. There's a Facebook group. So it's a wonderful place for you to communicate. Let me know how you're feeling. We can get deeper into some of your personal, unique issues and all of that. So I would love for you to join me for that. My cleanse in the fall is a different type of cleanse that is usually more with supplements. And we're really working on pulling out some chemicals and toxins in the body, making sure things are moving through the body. So just follow my emails or me on my Facebook group, and you'll find out about my detoxes. There's lots of different detoxes out there. You can take a look at them, try them, see what you think. It usually will always contain eating different foods, eating healthier foods, taking out things that are harmful for the liver, that cause, more metabolism and breakdown of things, removing things like caffeine and alcohol, sugar, all of those things. Okay. Juice cleanses, you can try them. If you know that your body does well with fasting, then that's probably a good option for you. I don't do a lot of fasting with my cleanses. My body is not a good fasting body. I do some intermittent fasting on the weekends, but that's about it. So it just really depends on what you want, what works with your schedule, and it's always great to try things out. Okay, so that's a great, great, great question. Um, don't expect like miracles after a cleanse. It's definitely going to improve the symptoms. You may lose some weight. You're going to feel more energetic. You may not feel great for the first few days of the cleanse. And usually at the end of the cleanse, that's when you really your energy starts to build up. You start feeling really great. And the key is to continue doing the things that you were doing on the cleanse. That's what these cleanses are all about, is teaching you the healthy things to continue to do. That's why I don't like the fasting cleanses, the juice cleanses, because I want to help you understand what things you can do every single day to allow your body to heal itself and feel its best. That's what I'm here to do, is to help you love your body, love your life, and understand, your health better. Okay. Do we have any other questions? I don't see any, but I'll keep having these Q&As. I'm going to start having them on Facebook. It's going to be a little bit easier. Sometimes I have a problem with Zoom, so we'll do that. So you can always let me know what your questions are. You can ask me questions anytime in the Facebook group, but thank you so much for showing up. Thanks for your questions, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.